Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
Now, you're 120% dick fit.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room, and you return the favor.
Gonorrhea. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Welcome to another episode of Grunt Speak that actually is live from the lair. All right, now, if you guys haven't noticed yet, but I started seeing this about 15 years ago, all of the cameras at intersections, and then I saw cameras not only at intersections but along the road, and I also noticed that a lot of people are getting the Ring cameras put in and other security cameras in their property. And I don't really think they understand the implication of what's happening. we are literally having basically a police state that has you under constant observation here. They're making cars that the police can flip a switch and turn off. You can't even buy a computer without them trying to force some type of AI or some kind of paid subscription to use your own equipment. Your smart TVs, your smart watches, all of which are spying on you. And even the computer in your very own car is spying on you and reporting information to insurance companies to, you guessed it, spike up your premiums, and they can get more money. We've already had a couple of cases where there's been AI has falsely implicated individuals that have been arrested by the police. One case happened in, I believe, Las Vegas. The guy was identified by AI as a vagrant who was trespassed from the property for the vagrant sleeping, in the casino. This guy went there to play, roulette and craps and what have you. And he was arrested. And I believe he did 2 or 3, was it 1 or 2 days in jail? And he, sued he's in the process of suing the police department, and the casino already settled with him. But we're going to see a lot more of this. AI is falsely fingering people because guess what? You go out in public, you don't have any expectation of privacy. And you have all of these cameras everywhere, many of them owned by private companies, which circumvent your constitutional right to any type of privacy. And people are getting fucked. Now we have the military connecting weapons to AI. I mean, what could go wrong there? All right. We've seen movies over the past 50 years about AI getting out of hand and causing the end of the world and various other catastrophes. And we're going to talk about that today because this is a very important subject. It's happening right now as we speak. You are literally the frog in the pot, and they're slowly turning up the heat. And you don't really feel it because it's happening a little bit at a time, but at some point, you're going to boil to death. So let's bring it on. Battle Dwarf. All right.
Yeah, Skynet is definitely leering or learning or something.
That would have been a better title. Wait. I didn't
Damn it, Jimmy.
There.
Damn it, Jimmy.
There it is. Jimmy's with us early tonight. He got everything done at the garage.
Yep.
So you got everything done at the garage?
The garage?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Things were torqued and lubricated proficiently today.
Ooh, walking that fine line. Close to a point, but not really.
Torquing those nuts.
Like Pop said, this is a long subject. A lot of you are going to hear some of the stuff that we say. Yeah, I know all that. We know, but for the general audience out there, this is a general purpose show. I want to go through and acquaint you with all of the stuff that really is out there and how a lot of it's being used. Now, Pop and I were talking before the show. I went through all of my notes and I noticed a pattern. Okay, with this technology, it starts out with some fucking pocket protector wearing, taped glasses Spurg in his garage comes up with something cool.
Identify Spurg.
Asperger's syndrome, autisms of the weaponized autism is what we're dealing with here.
A guy who is smart
As
and
fuck.
He's smart as fuck. There's no evil to him. He's just real smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy is genuinely just dicking around and wants to create something cool. So he creates something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a university gets a hold of it. And so they start seriously researching it. Like memory, the whole memory thing. I can't recite the entire history of it off the top of my head, but it really started with some guy who's like, hey, this is cool. And now they're like folding memory to the point where you could get a terabyte in something the size of like a match head or something like that. And it's just absolutely, yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, these are thumb drives that have been sent in by a fan. They have movies on them. And usually they're between 100 and 500 gigs.
It is not Iraqi deployment German scat porn, is it?
No.
Okay, that's good.
He sent in like all 5 seasons plus movies of the Babylon 5 trilogy.
Oh,
I
nice.
love that show.
Yeah,
But
what a guy.
yeah, that was awesome. I really appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. Outstanding. Good stuff. But anyway, that just makes my point right there. I mean, there's whole seasons of TV on something the size of a pack of gum. Okay, so these guys, they get into a university and serious research starts to happen. People start to see uses for the thing, for widget X. Okay, now you get investors that show up and they want to invest in widget X. Now control is taken away from Johnny the Pocket Protector.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he loses control of his project. It is now no longer his project. It belongs to the university, and it is being steered by a steering committee from the people who are providing the money for the research.
Yeah, and a lot of these
This is where
guys,
the evil begins.
and a lot of these guys who come up with these novel items, they're being denied patents.
Yes.
And then other companies are coming and getting the patent for their work, and they're getting cut out of the whole equation.
Yes.
But that's a different show. But that does
is.
happen.
That's an entirely different show, but that's something. This is the flow. This is where it goes from here. Then now you get the serious research, and then you'll get corporate investors, and the corporate investors will sink huge chunks of cash into this shit because they want something. So now the corporation is marketing Widget X under their new name of Fancy Widget X, and they're selling this to the public, or they're selling it to a government, which is really fun. The corporations will often exploit this research and they will sever it, which is a form of theft.
Mm-hmm.
Severing it from the university research means it now belongs entirely to this corporation.
The public sector.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not public property. It's called the public sector. I used to do investment banking.
Oh, there you go.
All right, and my job was venture capital. So I was the guy who would come up with the syllabuses and the research, and I would market it out to investment firms and see if they'd bite. That was my job.
Yeah.
So I understand this very well.
Right. Now you've got this corporate severance. They take the product, and now it's their product. While that's going on, the government also might go, this is interesting. And this is where you get something like DARPA or the government-sponsored programs at Berkeley or Stanford or places like that. Now the government's in there. All of a sudden, guess what? Your shit's now classified and you can't touch it anymore because you don't have a clearance. Mm-hmm. And the government takes it from you. And now they've got it, and they're going to weaponize this widget that you made to impress a girl and get a date and go to freaking Chili's.
Or just have your widget to have a small company that you want to run.
Right.
And they take it away from you and turn it into something horrible and weaponize it against the entire civilization.
Right. And on top of all of that shit, you've also got domestic and foreign industrial espionage. And we all know about that. We've heard about these things in China, Israel, France, South Korea. Not that any of the 3 of the 4 are the top 3 nations that spy on us at all.
No, China does. Look, you can't even do business in China without signing off all of your intellectual property. They take it from you. And if they don't do that, they copy it, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Right, that is correct.
And Israel does the same thing to a certain degree.
So does France and South Korea.
France, not so much, but yes,
we had
South
two
Korea.
guys. Yeah, we had 2 guys get PNG'd because they got their shit stolen. They left their shit in a hotel room and came back, and their stuff had been tampered with. And we're like, "What? You what?" They're like, yeah, we're like, get the fuck out of the country. Go.
You're done.
You're out. You're off the project. Bye.
You're compromised. You are done.
Yeah.
Get out.
And you're too dumb to be allowed to proceed any further. Because
it does happen.
You left your shit on the nightstand next to the bed, you dumb fuck.
We have a lot to go through, so we have to
That is
cut
a
the rabbit
hole.
holing down.
I know. Anyway, that's part of the corporate espionage thing. So that's sort of legitimate here. And let's start off with a nice little, hey, this is neato. Just yesterday, we had a meteor shower in Michigan. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Watch the sky. There it is. Look at that. Jan's
Woo.
Professional Dry Cleaners. Yay. Oh, here's another view. A&S Garage in Dundee. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Do we have another one? No, just those two for this one here. But what's going on here? Hey, everybody. Let's share our cameras. And they're sharing these cameras through the Flock network.
Yes, which
is a surveillance camera system. And they think that because these cameras are on their businesses, it's to protect their business. That's fine. But this video, here's our second reported meteor.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the flock camera phenomena.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So when the cameras started going up in the intersections,
Mm-hmm.
those original ones were put in by the police departments.
Yes.
And they actually had to be voted in, and they had to get the budget approved to have this done. I don't really have a problem with that as much. But then they have the flock camera, which is run by a private, or public company, or even a private company. And then the police department just, contracts with them.
Yes, that's exactly what's happened.
And they don't have to have warrants. They don't have any of that shit.
Nope.
A private corporation circumvents all your fucking rights.
Now, here's the thing. All these freaking dipshits with their heads up their asses who have these cameras on their businesses, they all think they're having a good time, and they're going to share all of their cameras. We've got 90 businesses already, a part of Michigan's largest weather camera network. Send us an email, link our page in the bio. And they're linking, and they're creating surveillance networks without being asked to.
Yeah,
they're not even being asked to, and they don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah, and of course you're going to have those people like, well, I don't mind. I don't do anything illegal.
I don't do anything wrong.
It's not the point.
I don't do anything wrong.
The point is, like, I bought a phone.
Mm-hmm.
I should not have to be tracked everywhere I fucking go with the phone. My information, my private information, or what I do on this phone or where I go on the internet shouldn't be sold without my permission. It's fucking ludicrous. And this was the same argument they had for the credit bureaus before the internet, where we have companies gathering data on you, judging you, and then other companies buying into this database so they can make judgment calls about you if you're worthy of a loan or a credit card or even a bank account.
Yeah.
So
that was the start of the surveillance state. It started in the early 1980s, really, in earnest. It existed to a degree before that, but it really started in earnest around 1980s when they started to get data. And data entry was a huge thing. One of my first jobs when I was 17, my first real big boy job, I had to wear a shirt and a tie, was data entry for Rohr Pharmaceutical. And literally you sat there with a stack of paper and typed in shit.
No, fuck that noise.
I was 17. It was a summer job. It paid really well. I got paid like $4.50 an hour.
That's not bad back then.
Back then
that's good money.
Pretty decent money. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was 16. That was the summer of 86. Yeah. Anyway, that is a rabbit hole all by itself. But we're talking about these cameras all over people's houses. And how many people do you know who have Ring cameras out there? How many people out there know somebody who has a fucking Ring camera?
I know. I probably know half a dozen people who have Ring cameras. And Blake has a Ring camera in front of his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Amazon's Ring ends deal with surveillance firm. That surveillance firm is Flock. After a backlash because they put out a Super Bowl video that turned out to be creepy. Amazon's smart doorbell company is dropping a partnership with a firm known for its surveillance services after facing scrutiny over its privacy practices. That decision cancels a deal announced in October between Amazon's Ring and Flock Safety, a firm that operates a network of cameras and license plate readers in the United States used primarily by police and law enforcement and intelligence agencies. The agreement would have allowed agencies working with Flock to retrieve video captured on Ring devices if needed for investigations and allowed by customers. The decision not to move forward came days after a Ring advertisement aired during the Super Bowl. During the Super Bowl, sparked widespread backlash for being creepy. That's all we need to read here.
Yeah, but what he said there, if allowed by the customer. All right.
Okay.
That is not even a real thing.
Yeah.
You could check blocks or whatever saying, I do not allow. It doesn't matter.
No.
They can literally just go right around that.
Yes. Yep. The proof in the pudding there is in the UK, they are already doing that. If you have a camera up, the UK government will add you to its network. And they have vans that drive around with detectors looking for these cameras and everything. You have to pay a TV tax in England. If your house is emitting television radiation, they will send you a tax bill. I shit you not. That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And people are like, well, first of all, the TV shows in England are absolute shit, so people don't want to pay for them. They haven't
been good in 70 years.
Yeah, when Benny Hill died, that was it.
Right, pretty much. At any rate, so they're claiming that Ring and Flock no longer have a deal. And I'm going to tell you right now, having worked in the intelligence business, that if there is a way to get data like this, we're going to get it.
Yeah. Listen, when have you ever heard of the government saying, we're just not going to use these tools voluntarily? That never fucking happens.
Yeah.
Never.
The public doesn't want us to do this, so we're not going to do it because it's not nice. Said no government ever. Okay.
Correct.
Just accept that. If you have one of these cameras, the government's going to try to get at it. Okay. I have 2 blink cameras. I do have 2 blink cameras. Guess what? It's chicken cam. If you want to watch my rooster fucking everything in sight, have a good time. I use them to keep track of my chickens to make sure I don't have predators out there because my cameras have night vision, but they're on a separate network, on a separate router that feeds to a USB drive. And the only way for that data to get anywhere is for me to take the USB drive out of that router and put it into a computer that I have that's not connected to my network.
Or they have to just crack your router code, which is
it doesn't go anywhere though. It doesn't, but that router doesn't go anywhere though. The only thing it does is chicken porn.
Well, here's the thing is I'm thinking of putting cameras in all 4 corners of this house, but I'm looking for a brand that is not going to like feed into the internet. And if the cops ever like, hey, we want your footage, I'm like, give me a warrant and I'll give it to you. I don't care.
No, I'll just set you up in enclosed. I'll set you up in an enclosed sandbox. It's not hard.
Okay.
You just set up an enclosed sandbox. It doesn't go anywhere. And you can view, because you've got extra computers. I know you have extra computers. So you dedicate an old laptop with a screen to those cameras. Mm-hmm. And the only connection is camera, router, computer. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere. Because it's not connected to the internet.
All right. Rabbit hole.
No, that's applicable because it tells you how to get around this shit if you want to have cameras on your house. You set up a dedicated sandbox that does not touch your network. It cannot touch it anywhere.
Okay.
Anyway, no shit. There we were, hip deep in soju caps. How to turn off smart TV snooping. Speaking of this exact very thing, all smart TVs from LG, Samsung, TCL, and other brands collect personal data. Here's how to use privacy settings to limit surveillance. I watch a ton of documentaries. Have a good time with that. You may not be aware of it, but your TV knows and shares a lot of information about you. Nearly all new sets are smart TVs which connect to the internet, making it easy to stream videos from services such as Hulu and Netflix. The streaming apps on your TV may collect data on you. They do collect data on you, even if you don't ever sign in. And your smart TV will also collect information for its manufacturer, possibly including your location, which apps you open, and more. Again, I watch a lot of documentaries. Have fun with that. These companies can also capture voice data when you use the mic on a smart TV remote, which I remove, and then combine all of the info they've gathered with data they collect about you from outside companies. Yes, you can remove the microphone from the remote on your TV without hurting the TV. It's a microphone endpoint, and you just snip that, and it's done. And it doesn't work anymore.
See, I noticed a lot of this a few years ago when I would talk
you
about
sent me
certain
this link.
things. I would talk about certain things, and then I would start getting like pop-ups in my computer for what I just talked about a couple hours prior. You know, I mean, it's kind of fucked up.
Yes. Yeah, it's lurker software.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's fucking absolutely fucking lurker software. Now, on top of your television watching you, do you remember the game Pokemon?
That was what, about 10 years back, right?
About 10 years back. Everybody was playing it. Everybody was playing, and the game used the camera on your phone, and in real time, you were walking around with your phone following breadcrumbs, trying to find these little adorable monsters and collect them. And everybody was all about the Pokemon shit. Well, there's a problem with that.
Okay, so it turns out the Pokemon Go era wasn't a collective mental breakdown. It was an unpaid internship. Every single person who wandered into a cemetery at midnight, walked into a lamppost, or stood in the rain outside a Walgreens for 20 minutes trying to catch a Snorlax was actually doing data entry for the robot economy. No V2, no benefits, not even a thank you email. Niantic Spatial, the AI spun out from the company that invented the reason your uncle fell into a fountain in 2016, just revealed it has been sitting over 30 billion crowdsourced urban images this whole time. Every Pokestop photo, every IR snapshot, every I need to physically walk to this location moment has been quietly stacking up into the most detailed street level data set on the planet.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
30 billion images. Pardon her Brussels accent. She's got a Brussels accent. But Pokemon was a psyop. The game was for collecting
Data.
Watch.
That dataset is now training a spatial AI that can look at a random street corner and know exactly what it is within a few centimeters. Your parasocial relationship with a fictional electronic mouse accidentally built the navigation system of a future. Slay, first beneficiary pizza robots, Niantic partnership with the Coco Robotics to put over 1,000 little delivery bots on the sidewalk of LA, Miami, and Helsinki. These bots have abandoned GPS entirely. Reasonable, given that GPS inside a dense city full of tall buildings is basically a suggestion and switch to visual positioning instead. The bot looks at the storefronts and carves around it, matches what it seems against the map that Pokemon players built over a decade of unhinged behavior, and knows precisely where it stands.
Did you hear that?
Uh-huh.
It doesn't use GPS. This data is more reliable because these photos that the Pokemon game was taking were also transmitting GPS as they went. So it gives a grid point. It gives a fucking 10-digit grid and a photo based on your 360.
First of all,
your compass.
we have a lot of civilians watch this show that don't understand a 10-digit grid.
It's bad. A 10-digit grid is basically where you're standing on a map.
Yeah, it's a 1 to 3 meter square where you're standing. It's a 10-digit grid.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, and that was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Because now they've had, was it Google drives around? I've seen 3 other vehicles this year just in and around Michigan.
Yes.
Driving, and it's not just Google anymore. There's other companies doing it as well. And
they based it all off of this database. She talks about this later. I'm not going to make us watch the entire.
Well, that
video.
database started it,
right? But they're building off of that database.
Yes.
Because things change. So they've got the grid coordinate from each image, 30 billion images, and now they can drive around and update that database. And every time they hit a grid that's in the database, photos. Does it match? Yes. Move on. Does it not match? New photo. Building that map is evolving like this in real time.
Yeah.
It's evolving in real time. This is an ability. Fuck, can you imagine if we had that when we were in the military? If we had something
I'd
to
go,
look at,
it'd be fucking awesome.
we'd be unstoppable.
But here's the thing, though. When has man ever created something that they haven't used to eradicate other evil hairless monkeys?
Yes.
I think I know the answer to that. That would be never.
Pretty much never, yeah. Maybe 95% of the time, we invent something and then some 30-pound brain dude's like,
How can
wonder
I
if we
strap
could-
a bomb or a gun to that?
yeah, I wonder if we can use that to kill some people.
That's exactly right, Jimmy. That's exactly right. I mean, it's part of the 5 phases we talked about at the beginning. Some little guy in the garage invents a thing, then it starts to get researched, then it starts to get funded, then a corporation takes it over, then a government takes it over. It's just a matter of time. It starts out as a benevolent game. And somebody goes, we have pictures. We have 30 billion pictures. Holy fuck.
Yeah. We have all of these pictures, all of these grids of where shit is.
Yep.
Let's program it into a computer because one day we might need to turn that into targeting data.
Well, no, they looked at the pictures and realized that those pictures translate to actual dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Then you sell those pictures, you get your dollars. But then those pictures are being used by the corporations and the governments to do the targeting data.
Uh-huh. And we saw with the Iran conflict that's going on right now,
Yeah.
exactly how powerful that targeting data is.
Oh, I'm going to go into that. Oh,
Because
that's ugly.
We've now wiped out 3 tiers of leadership
Yeah.
for the IRGC.
I have occasionally talked about one of the missions that I worked as assets management, which includes targeting. You're going to see that for real tonight. You're going to see how AI is doing that. Stuff that used to take us days sometimes could take us days. They're now doing in minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I watched the video and I'm like, God damn, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to,
We're obsolete now, man.
yeah.
We're the analog versions.
We are the analog. We're the last analog generation. So anyway, so these kids that I was talking about that create neat things. This is one of those neat things. This kid just made this. Okay, this is called macrosphere.io. And once again, we have all of the links. We're going to hand this off to you. Macrosphere, I ran into this on X, on Twitter. And I saw it. I'm like, guys, I'm using your shit on our show. I'm going to give you credit. So macrosphere.io, here's me giving you credit for your map. This is cool shit. Okay. These guys just made this stuff. This is a bunch of dudes with some computers making stuff. Okay. This is the Hormuz. This is the Strait of Hormuz that everybody's freaking losing their shit about. Okay. Right here. It's this point. You can see the ship here, the Jamal. That's a ship. Oh, wait. You mean I have ship data? Oh, yeah. Navigation underway using engine. Speed 12 knots, about 10 miles an hour. Course 310 degrees.
All right. So hang on a minute. So
That's what he
anyone
said.
can find this on the net.
Well, yeah. I have the
And you
link. I'm
have
looking at it right
the
now.
direction of travel,
The speed.
the speed,
Yes.
the type of vessel.
Yes.
That's all you really need to target.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See this arc here? See this northeasterly arc up
Uh-huh.
here? That is probably where the 82nd Airborne is going, by the way. If
It's-
they can secure that,
You're
that
not going
makes
to,
this
you know,
navigable.
there's not enough people to secure that entire area. It's not going to happen.
I know that, and you know that, but they're going to try.
Okay.
It's not going to be pretty. Anyway, yeah, you could go around this map here, and you could just click on this. What's this? We've got a vessel that is stopped. He's anchored. He's anchored underway. He's not going anywhere. He's got a draft to 7.2 meters.
Uh-huh.
This ship is flagged. I don't know what KN is. Anyway, yeah, you can see all of these ships. This is all of the traffic through the Straits of Hormuz. and you can just pull this up. Can you imagine what the military has?
Yes, even worse.
Okay. This alone, if I had this kind of freaking targeting data when we were doing asset management,
You're fucked. They're fucked.
I could hit any of these ships at any time.
Okay, and here's another
without
thing.
any problem.
Remember before this all kicked off and we were running a bunch of our intel planes up and down the Gulf of Mexico on both around Baja, California, and up and down the Gulf of Mexico.
Sure.
They're literally doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They were pinging all of these individuals' cell phones, recording where they were, where they traveled to. I'm telling you right now, there are target folders on all of these drug kingpin individuals and all of South
absolutely.
America, all of Mexico.
Look, in 1997, I was using a system called the ANTSQ 138, and it is in mothballs. It is a fucking museum piece. When you fired up the 8-inch black screen with green letters, okay, it came up January 1969.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the old ANTSQ, and it was mounted on a 5-ton truck, and it had a 13,000-pound generator. That's how much juice this fucking thing took. But cell phones had just come out. They were about 3-4 years old. We were using cell phones to calibrate our DF systems, our direction finding systems, from that antiquated piece of shit.
And now
We
they
were
do that
using
from
your cell
space.
phones to calibrate. Yes.
And they do that from space now.
And that's how long we've been doing it, though, because around 97 is when cell phones became ubiquitous. And
It's a big word, man.
It is a big word.
To say that's when they became more common.
Fuck you, ubiquitous. Deal with it.
I'm a grunt.
I know, I don't care. Sorry, sit down. I'm trying to finish this briefing. Sorry. Specialist, take him out of the room.
Well, see, I'm just looking into TV land, and when you said that word, I saw about 20 guys just go.
That's fine. We're trying to learn you here. At any rate, the point being, antiquated freaking analog equipment, and TSQ 138 was an analog system, was calibrating off of cell phones in 1997. So here we are 30 years later, kids. What do you think is going on?
40 years. Yep.
30.
Well, whatever.
This is a little toy that another guy
Oh, my
made.
God. Look at that.
This is also on Macrosphere. This is city populations, okay? Now, you can see, and it's by depth. Extreme density is the longer rods. The more dense you are, the longer your rod is, apparently. That is bordering homo suspicion point. That is not actually a homo suspicion point. But look at this.
That's a lot of human beings.
I'm a bad guy. I want to target somewhere that's going to fucking matter. And I don't want to go right to a major U.S. city. Where can I go? Well, let's go over here and pick one of these ones. Or, I mean, that's Mexico City right there. Look at the population density of that. I got it smack in the middle of the board. The indicator is pointing at 7 o'clock right now. And this data is just there. It's this readily accessible. Again, what do you think governments are doing if some kid out there is cranking this shit out?
And like the information he's showing you right there is probably at a minimum 72 hours old. The government has data which is 5 to 15 minutes old, and they're feeding that into AI that's literally generating target data on you.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah. And this is just what these guys are doing for fun. I mean, this one's just kind of interesting. It's not really useful in any intelligence capacity, but it shows you just how they can. This is exploded sections of the world population. The further from the globe, the more dense the population is, and it's actually a little fucking tough to look at because it's so detailed. But I mean, there's China right there, that huge mass presented in front of you. And
China.
yeah,
There's Mexico.
China. There's Mexico, the United States. Canada is like way in the back there. You can see the layers.
Yeah.
See how the layers work? Canada's way down there, and you got all the population data. Intelligence wise, this is not very useful. But again, this is kids just being bored and doing this shit, really.
Yeah.
But
it's fucking pretty
then,
creepy.
well,
If you ask me, that's pretty goddamn creepy.
it is creepy. It's absolutely fucking creepy. The crazy thing is, now you start to get into the kids who have a fucking axe to grind. They go to college, they become Marxists. The girls get high body counts, the guys get VD, and they all get communism. They all start wanting to do a communisms. So these little cocksuckers start coming up with stuff like ICE in my area. Oh, I got to add this to the list of links to make sure that I have it here for you guys.
Yeah, and listen, this isn't that hard to create.
No, but with this, they're reporting every ICE sighting they come across.
And there's even better ones out there that are not, readily available to the common people, because the ones that the government learned about, they shut those down and they just built new ones.
Yeah. Now, with a map like this, also comes, here's recent reports, and there is an ability to report ICE activity. You should not use this link to lure them onto the X where federal agents might be waiting for them if they were there to do a communisms. You should not use these maps to lure communists who want to do a communism onto the X for federal officers
to arrest,
to buy them a cup of coffee and sit them down for a little chat in a small gray room.
And then put you in the room you can't leave.
Don't use this map for those purposes. Okay?
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Like, they have no problem spying on you.
Right, exactly.
But if you spy on them, they get all upset about it.
Yes, especially if they end up with a new pair of bracelets and a 3 meals a day meal plan with free laundry.
Free laundry. I'm just saying, though, that I'm not advocating that anyone do this. I'm just saying that it needs to work both ways for it to be fair.
It does need to work both ways. Do not use these maps to lure communists onto the X thinking that they're going to get to do a communism. It's not nice.
And also, all of those encrypted apps you have on your phone have all been cracked. The government can read whatever they want. There's nothing you can do about it.
Many shows ago, I told you about the guy we had called Carp. We'd go into country and he'd come back with a bag, just dump them on the desk. What's this? It's just your phones. Where did we get phones? I just hacked your telecom. Okay, thanks, Carp.
Huh?
Everywhere we went, free phones that didn't exist on their network, because all of those systems are hackable. They are, unless it's some super duper secret squirrel bullshit that only exists in a lab in Virginia somewhere that they made for a single mission. That's the only way you're going to get encryption that hasn't already been gotten to.
Yeah, you have to come up with it yourself.
You have to keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah. I mean, you can use the book code, but you got to make sure the book is secret to everyone in the group you're using codes for. That's pretty much uncrackable.
Yeah. And the best way to do that, this is the difficult part, unless you've got a group of people that see each other, the best way to do it is for everybody all to meet in one room, plan it, discuss it, rehearse it, practice it once or twice, and then go do your business.
Yeah.
Because that way there's no record of it. There's no recording of it. Nobody's transmitting an email that says, hey, the code for the day is this.
Yep.
You've got it all beforehand. Anyway, no shit. That's how that part works. But then all of that cool stuff that I showed you, well, here's the government using it in action.
This is Maven Smart System, Palantir's software as a service product that we are deploying across the entire department. As you can see, it's not just one data feed, it's multiple.
Okay, first of all, this little faggot has never served a day in his life.
Nope. I was just going
Okay?
to say that.
And that's why he's so gleeful about this, because you don't look at stuff like this. Pop and I know exactly what this is. This is people getting smoked, and this guy is fucking smoking and joking himself on stage. Okay? He has no idea what he's talking about. He just wants to talk about his new toy.
And instead of having 8 or 9 systems for those decision makers to look at every single day,
Watch the
in order for them
capabilities.
to make decisions, you then fuse it into a single visualization tool. The single visualization tool allows you to select, deselect different types of data, look at different approaches to data, but more importantly, action from the same system that you're trying to develop your workflows around. Once you have a detection that you want to actually move into a targeting workflow, for example.
Listen to his language. Listen to how detached he is from the act of killing.
This is what we do. Left click, right click, left click. Magically, it becomes a detection. That detection then gets moved into a workflow. This is standard digitized workflow, but I want to walk you through it quickly. You have different types of targets that are identified on the left there. Every single column produces a different type of decision-making process. Once you have that decision and you're trying to actually action that process, we now move into COA generation, course of action generation, where we are automatically, via a number of factors, trying to identify what the best asset to prosecute a target looks like. Once we've got the different approaches and we select one, we then can move directly into how do we action that target. So we've gone from identifying the target to now coming up with a course of action to now actioning that target, all from one system. This is revolutionary. We were having this done in about 8 or 9 systems where humans were literally moving detections left and right in order to get to our desired end state. In this case, actually closing a kill chain.
Desired end state, closing a kill chain. Okay, guys, so I spent a year doing exactly this. This is assets management right here. That's what this is. This guy, this little fucking worm, closing a kill chain, actioning a prosecution, talking like he's playing a fucking video game.
Yeah.
But you got to see the capabilities, but then you got to see the indifference of the people who are actually doing this stuff.
A lot of those capabilities, you got to see the ranges of direct fire, indirect fire, grazing fire, avenues of approach, limits of advance. I mean, all of the same shit that I learned through countless missions, walking around on the ground and planning them.
I was the guy in your ear going, we've got an asset over you approximately 5 clicks out. He should be on station in 2 mics.
Yep.
Anyway, that's asset management, but now it's being run by these little video game twinks. And this brings up something that I really want to hit on because this is a problem. Okay, if you've read the book Ender's Game, yes, there's a movie. You should read the book. The book is better. But okay, we'll go with the movie because that's what most people are going to be familiar with, in my opinion. At the end of the movie, there's this last battle, and it's supposed to be the last test before he gets to go on and command a fleet. But it turns out to be the actual battle, and they tricked them by running it through a sim, not knowing that they were controlling the actual assets in the actual battle for the actual assault and prosecution. And these kids did it with zeal.
Yeah.
And then they found out that they were doing it for real. But today, these kids that are raised on Call of Duty and GTA and all of the other war games that are out there and everything, they're not going to hesitate to do shit like this. And they're never going to have to see a body. And they're never going to have to understand what they've done.
Yep.
And you're going to have bunches of this little freaking twink here who thinks he's Joe Cool, who thinks this stuff is fun. Look at his face. Look how disaffected and casual this guy is.
Well, and also, a lot of this stuff is going to be done remotely from drones.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. These kids will be controlling drones or directing guys on the ground, not even realizing they're directing actual human beings. They think they're directing player characters or something.
Like
And
when I went to
shit
Intel,
like this, it's terrifying.
when I went to Intel Analyst School, I was an E7.
Yeah.
I walk in the door.
Yeah.
There's the main instructor. He looks at me and goes, "Thank God." And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, "You're one of those dudes that's actually done this shit for real."
Yeah.
I get
We
a bunch
value
of
you
kids
guys.
right out of basic and AIT, and I'm trying to teach them this shit, and they don't seem to understand the reality on the ground where you do, because you've walked the swamps, you've traversed the cliffs,
Yep.
you froze, you starved, you walked across fucked up terrain going, how in the fuck did they pick this route? Now you're that guy who picks the proper route and not one of these idiots who's never walked
It's just like
it.
a very cool way to prototype extremely quickly. If I go here in Figma, I
Yeah,
just
what's up?
have this design here.
Did you hit something wrong?
No, I didn't hit something wrong at all. Why did you get sound out of that?
Yeah, there was sound in the background.
There was not supposed to be any sound in the background. Sorry about that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And once I got through the first school and we got to the other schools for intelligence, when we had you guys in the class with us, and you would do exactly, oh, no, you're not going to, you don't want that route. Why? Well, look at the terrain. You knew what ground looked like on a 1 to 50 on the map, on a 1 to 50,000 scale map, the terrain maps that we used.
Yeah.
We would just say 1 to 25, 1 to 50, 1 to 100. You guys could look at that and go, no, you don't want to do that. We'd be like, why? Well, look at the ground. Like, oh, and that's why we learned to read maps so well, is we did have guys like you in the courses with us. We had one infantry guy and one Green Beret in my class for that shit.
Yep.
When we went
And
through it.
the instructor I had is just like, hey man, you better get it right the first time, or you're gonna get jumped in the parking lot by one of these idiots out on the ground that you fucked over because you gave them bad intel. They'll come find you and fuck you up.
That is correct. That has happened in the past. Not in my time, and not in anything that I ever did or any of the units that I was in, but it had happened in the past where guys would come back and just kick the fuck out of the asset manager.
It does happen.
Yeah. We heard at least 1 or 2 stories. Now, we don't know if there were stories or not, but we weren't inclined to care. We just wanted to make sure that it wasn't us. So we tried to do a good job.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is there's in war, usually there's a level of humanity. Okay.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That's literally getting taken out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I went to Iraq in 2004, there was a lot of decisions like, well, we could do that, but a lot of people get smoked, blah, blah, blah. Now I don't think they care.
Yeah.
Because you have these computer programs, and they're like, well, this is your target. This is what you can use. And
watch this. This is Palantir and a company called StriveWorks. Watch what they're doing now.
We are facing grave threats as the West as we look at an axis of countries coming together to threaten.
This is another guy who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Liberal Western democratic order here. We need to mobilize all of American industry against this. And it is going to be crucial to leverage American modern software technologies to win this fight. At Palantir, over 20 years, we had to create a whole bunch of software infrastructure that simply allowed us to get to the starting line. As a company, we've always been focused on serving the warfighters' needs, working backwards as quickly as possible from what the field needs. We need to work back from what is going to help our nation actually win. And that requires all of the defense tech ecosystem, from new entrants to legacy primes, to collaborate to actually deliver these capabilities at the speed of relevance.
By the way, we are legacy primes, Pop. That's what they're calling veterans in this scenario.
Legacy primes.
Our partnership with Palantir is really nothing less than a real paradigm shift in how artificial intelligence is built, deployed, and leveraged within the national security space. Our mission at StriveWorks is to disappear MLOps, meaning that we want it to be a safe, easy, and effective way for users to be able to deploy AI ML models that actually work in their operating environments and for their missions. And in the national security space, the way to make artificial intelligence actually relevant and actually usable is to decrease your cycle time. There's a ton of challenges that startups face when they want to kind of build software and deploy it into the environment to support.
Decrease your cycle time. What he just said there is what I was talking about earlier. What took me days now takes them minutes.
A government customer. Our users need a ton of freedom. They need latitude to be able to build and adapt models rapidly to the operational conditions that they're seeing. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of decisions, and not a lot of time. So how do we focus human beings on those most critical and most impactful decisions? Palantir is enabling us to give users the flexibility to build the models that they need to and deploy them, while at the same time ensuring that the data governance and ontology is common and shared across all of those model builders and the consumers that are using those models. The StriveWorks partnership with Palantir has enabled us to deliver capability to our customers in two really big ways. The first one is just simply getting our software in the hands of our customers in a timely and efficient manner. Leveraging Rubix, we are able to take our platform and use a common set of infrastructure and common set of services across a wide range of deployment environments. When I pair that with Apollo, I've now got a data ontology and a data framework. The second way that the StriveWorks partnership with Palantir has been really invaluable is that we're making the model an invisible part that enables end users to make decisions. Using Palantir's user-centric machine learning, we're able to get inferences in front of operational end users. They're able to use those inferences in their day-to-day actions, and we're able to collect the feedback on how those inferences are performing and pipe them right back to retrain and redeploy models. Not only do you have...
Okay, that's enough of this particular one, but I want to break down what he's saying here. His inferences to get back to the user for his day-to-day jobs. What he means is they're targeting so they can get it in front of the asset managers and the commanders faster so that those commanders can make kill decisions quicker. Now, the software, every time a kill decision is made, that software learns and now does it faster and now looks for things like that. This thing is exponentially speeding up the process. This is in hypothetical fantasyland terminology from the Terminator movie. This is exactly how Skynet is described as learning.
Correct.
In the movies. Almost word for word.
Wow.
Go back and watch I think it's the second Terminator where they talk about Skynet and what happened and how it learned and everything. This is almost word for word. And it is, I saw this and I'm like, oh my God. And I could see myself back in the day, if we had this asset, we would have been creaming ourselves. But looking at it objectively now from the outside, I'm like, holy fuck, this is Skynet.
Yeah.
This is identical to fucking Skynet.
Yeah. And this is going to come back to bite us all in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it gets better.
Oh,
if you order now, now this is the other mission that I worked. This is heavy.
Building off 2 decades of experience delivering software capabilities for the warfighter, Palantir is developing the Army's first AI-defined vehicle, designed to outpace and outmaneuver our adversaries with cutting-edge technology that will enable long-range precision fires for the modern battle space. Titan is the Army's next-generation, deep-sensing intelligence ground station enabled by artificial intelligence and machine learning, and represents the first-of-its-kind modernization program. Historic first for the Army, as a hardware program that is defined by software developed by a leading-edge software company.
This is the
Titan delivers
AMTSQ I was
AI at
talking
the
about.
edge that can be tailored to the mission, ensuring soldiers have the latest and most relevant models wherever the mission takes them, even as the threat landscape evolves. What sets Titan apart from prior capabilities is the decisive advantage that the software-enabled capabilities will give to soldiers. This includes faster, deeper sensing that can handle modern sensors
She
at
said
scale.
faster, deeper.
More accurate targeting enabled by cutting-edge AI and machine learning, and more adaptive than any previously fielded system as a result of the software-first development cycle. Titan is a ground station that has access to and can manage data from space, high-altitude, aerial, and terrestrial sensors. Palantir's Titan solution is designed to maximize usability for frontline forces and soldiers by incorporating tangible feedback and insights from soldier touchpoints at every step of the development and configuration process.
So, did you ever come across Prophet?
No.
The Prophet systems?
No.
That was the first version of this. They started bringing Prophet out around 2002. I got to look at it. This is the SIGINT field mission. This was my first assignment, the ANTSQs that I was talking about at the beginning. This is also an insane expansion of
This ultimately
those
enables
capabilities.
enhanced mission command and long-range precision fires.
Yeah,
This is
that's
a
what we
critical
did.
enabler that advances the Army toward JADC2 and deters the near-peer threat. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at how it works
All right.
next.
We use
Pause it real quick.
We use
All right.
guardrail, rivet joint, quick fix. There was a J-Stars overhead. We would have ground assets. We'd have anywhere from 5 to 12 ground assets plus LLVI teams on the ground doing all of the shit that this is doing right now.
All right,
They've
hang on.
reduced it to a handful of systems with satellites. I'm sorry, I'm very lathered up about this
Yeah.
because
So this is
actually
just
my
the
thing.
beginning. All right.
Yeah.
They're talking about targets and, and the targets are going to be engaged by bigger weapon systems. But what we're going to see, because we're seeing it in Ukraine, I can literally envision a truck rolling up on the battle space, flooding the air with small little drones with small explosives on it, maybe 3,000 to 5,000 of them, all controlled by that truck, which is powered by AI. And these things will fly out there, and you're going to get, these. There's no longer going to be a human component to it.
Yep.
And anyone on that side of the battle space that has a pulse and throwing off a heat signature is going to get blown up.
It'll be the truck. There will be an aerial asset similar to a J-Stars. And that aerial asset will be pinging off of satellites that are overhead. And what they will do is get that 10-digit grid that I was talking about earlier on anything that has a heat signature. And each one of those little drones that Pop is talking about will pick a heat signature. And this decision-making process will happen in 45 seconds.
Or less.
And everything, well, from deployment to kill. Everything in that battle space will be smoked.
It'll be a swarm.
Yep. Yeah, it's batshit. It's just absolutely batshit what this is, the capabilities.
Users start
here.
in the Unified Management Interface, or UMI,
Now watch, you can build
which
these
provides
like
them with a
you can like
comprehensive
ordering a
view
fucking
of
pizza.
the entire system. Users can monitor system performance and receive push notifications if any system component surpasses key thresholds. Among the key elements users can monitor from UMI is the status of environmental control units, or ECUs. The Titan system includes dual ECUs to cool the crewed compartment separately from the compute, which provides redundancy and improved efficiency while also reducing noise in the crewed cabin.
Now, the ANTSQs had a huge refrigerator in them that took up most of the space on the back of that 5-ton truck. We would stash coolers full of steaks and Coke behind those refrigerators.
Yeah, why waste it? Why waste it?
That's right.
UMI also gives users a place to configure and manage data integrations from the full array of sensors, including space, aerial, and terrestrial-based sensor platforms. Titan includes an array of communications links, enabling line of sight, beyond line of sight, on the move, and at the halt connections. This ensures users can continue to execute their mission while in transition or in the event of lack of line of sight to critical collection assets.
Now, that was a huge thing. When we were doing SIGINT, we would have to jump sites. That means you pack everything up and move. And we could not operate during that jump. Now they have the ability to operate during that jump. As far as line of sight stuff goes, it was exactly what it sounds like. It's line of sight. You can't see through a mountain. But we would have vehicles in other locations, or we would have what was called Quick Fix, which was mounted on UH-1. Quick Fix was mounted on a Huey. And that would cover our gaps, and they would track all of that while we jumped, and then when we got to the next site, we'd set up and start targeting again. They don't have to do any of that anymore. They can target on the move, which is batshit. The ground elements in traditional SIGINT were the targeting elements. Everything overhead was just keeping track of stuff. They couldn't actually perform targeting themselves. They didn't have the capability.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is, this is only going to get faster, more efficient. It's going to get smaller and more lethal because we're evil, hairless monkeys.
Yes.
And that is what we do.
Yeah.
And at some point, if we don't, if we can't find a way to control AI, AI will control us.
It's absolutely correct. Now, here's the crazy thing. This is Crucix.live. CRUCIX, Charlie Romeo Uniform Charlie India X-ray .live. And it is essentially producing all of the kind of targeting data along with a bunch of economic data that those military systems are producing. And this is as OSINT, it's open source, civilian level, but you can see just from this is what's available in the civilian world. And you couple that and you hold it up against the stuff that we just watched and imagine the kind of shit. And it's just like you were talking about. You can have a vehicle with 5,000 little tiny explosive drones that does the targeting and everything.
Yep.
Now, if the civilian world has open source information, open source intelligence like that available, what does the fucking military have?
Yeah. It's even, especially us, we spend so much money on defense spending.
Yes.
And, let's be honest, there's a black budget that we can't seem to figure out how much money's going into that.
Yeah.
The Pentagon has failed, 13 or 14 audits in a row.
Yeah.
I don't think they've passed an audit since before 9/11.
That's how they hide black budgets too.
Yeah.
Frankly. That's how
All right, so let me give the briefing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, gentlemen, if you know that I've been watching the show for a while, last Thursday we read into the record 3 more lives saved from suicide using logic, comedy, and reason. We as a channel here have been demonetized beyond all rhyme and reason, and we pull in roughly 15 to 25% of what we used to do in our heyday between 2013 and 2016. We have been shadow banned into the goddamn basement. So there's a few things I would like you guys to do. Number one, I need people to volunteer for the PR team to help us get the videos and the channel in front of people, because there's a lot of guys out there who are lost in the sauce, and the suicide that has taken place in the male community has not gone down. If anything, it's going up. All right, so any little bit you send in, as a super chat or a donation goes a long way to keep this thing rolling, because this is not cheap, and we're doing this to save lives. I don't think there's any other veterans or men's organization out there that specifically focuses on the anti-suicide message as well as we do, and we've actually been tracking our results from the very beginning. I wish I was more accurate about it, because to be honest with you, we'd probably have about 700-ish instead of just 588. So please, I'm thanking you in advance. Any little bit you send in goes a long way. Thank you very much. Let's continue.
Well, we didn't start tracking any of that stuff because we didn't realize what was happening in the beginning.
Well, I started. Well,
I mean, you had that encounter with the pastor, was it?
Well, the thing is from the very beginning, I would put a dog tag in a bag, and then I started giving numbers around 60.
Yeah.
And then, by 2013, we're in the low 200s.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a point though where we didn't realize the scope of what was going on.
No.
Until we were like, wait, oh shit, wait a second. At any rate, I know there's 1 or 2 guys out there who talked about PR, sent me emails. I saw those. I got inundated with emails. I just now dug through some of them. Some of you will be getting really delayed responses, 2-3 weeks from me. I'm digging through that and trying to get through all of those. But yeah. So, do you know anything about the machine layers?
No.
In computing, there are 7 layers. It's the actual hardware, and then the chips that are welded onto the hardware itself, the computer chips, and so on and so forth, all the way up to the software layer. And I can't remember if it's 1 to 7 or 7 to 1, but NVIDIA and Palantir are now integrating this directly into the chip. It is no longer software that you can remove. It is part of the chip.
Wow.
Palantir is integrating NVIDIA accelerated computing, NVIDIA CUDA-X libraries, and open source NVIDIA Nematron models onto its ontology framework at the core of the Palantir AI platform. Lowe's is pioneering operational AI for its supply chain logistics with Palantir and NVIDIA. If this stuff is in the chips, there's no way to get it out. There just isn't a way to get it out at this point. Palantir and NVIDIA share a vision to put AI into action, turning enterprise data into decision intelligence. By combining Palantir's powerful AI-driven platform with NVIDIA CUDA-X accelerated computing and Nematron OpenAI models, we're creating the next-generation engine to fuel AI-specialized applications and agents to run the world's most complex industrial and operational pipelines. If it is on the graphics card or if it's on the chip that goes into your computer, again,
there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do about that. That's how integrated this is becoming. And I view this as a real serious threat, because then if you don't just go complete Luddite and take technology entirely out of your life, there's no way around that.
Yeah, you're getting spied on.
There's just no way around something like that. And then StriveWorks was mentioned in the last Palantir video. Automated AI ops. StriveWorks helps organizations get the most out of their investment in artificial intelligence. Our proprietary technology allows organizations to rapidly build, launch, and maintain AI models in hours, not months. There's exactly what I was talking about right there. Users can deploy them in a click and keep them working even when the world changes around them. StriveWorks delivers trustworthy AI-powered analysis, creating models that learn and stay ahead of their environment at machine speed. We mentioned that with the targeting stuff. Yes. Multi-domain awareness. Leverage on-demand and scheduled multi-domain intelligence capabilities that extend across land, air, and sea by fusing satellite, geospatial data, edge sensor video feeds, and ELINT. StriveWorks enables users to detect emerging threats. Now, again, all of the links for this are all going to be available. I know I'm blowing through this. I just want you to see what's out there, because I've got I've got 4 more in this tab, and then I've got another tab full of shit to go through if we can possibly get through it. Okay? That's why I'm blowing through some of this stuff. Automatically detect, classify, and track objects of interest from overhead satellite imagery to low-angle drone feeds. StriveWorks AI-powered ATR maintains target custody across changing perspectives, environments, and sensor types to deliver persistent recognition with dynamic model routing. Now, I'll break that down for you. When we did direction-finding activities, we would have ground assets, we would have intermediate air assets, we would have high-level air assets. In some cases, we may or may not have allegedly had access to satellite information, allegedly from an organization similar to or sounding something like NEMA.
Okay.
But this we saw in 3D for direction finding, but it was very primitive. And it was down to a grid point.
Wow.
And we relied on, it was down to usually a 6 or 8 digit grid. But this is, it's seeing in 3D to the point where they have specific altitudes. Now, I could look at a grid and then hold that to a map and tell you the rough elevation. This is using 3-dimensional direction finding, and it can give you the exact altitude as well as position of your target.
And routes to get to the target.
Really, exactly. Yep. Which is really, really seriously detailed information.
Yeah, because, we used to do that. You pick your primary, alternate, and contingent routes to your objective.
Yep.
and you'd ask for intel, and sometimes on some of the missions I was on, you know, bridges would be washed out or streams would be overflow.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck, you know, we need an
Or
extra rope or, yeah.
Yeah, that draw on a map is actually now a ravine that's 17 feet deep.
Yeah.
Shit like
Yeah, but you get that in real time now. I mean, that's a powerful tool.
Exactly. But these vehicles here that you can see, that's a remote SIGINT sensor. I can tell you right now by the antenna configuration and the device on top, that's a remote SIGINT sensor. So they're deploying shit like that along with the larger vehicle. This gives you that really deep DF that we were just talking about, where it's in 3 dimensions. And this is striveworks.com. Again, it'll be in the links. But the level of detail that they have now is just incredible. And, you know, I like to think
it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
This whole episode, as I built this, I was thinking beforehand, you know, I'm fine in my house. If they come, I can stand at the door with my shotty and say, hey, get off my freaking lawn, and then go yell at clouds happily afterwards. If they deploy a SIGINT asset against something like one of us,
yeah, we're fucked.
Even with the knowledge level that we have, there's nothing you can do against that.
I'm an old analog guy. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, that, and there was that, I can't remember how long ago it was, but someone came up with a program that can map out your entire house and your movement just using your internet router.
Your Wi-Fi. Yep.
Your Wi-Fi and the internet.
It's worse than that now, though.
Yeah, it's as bad.
That's in here too. It's as bad, right? Okay, this is the former CEO of Google.
We believe, as an industry, that in the next 1 year, the vast majority of programmers
this is last year
will be replaced by AI programmers. We also believe that within 1 year, you will have graduate level mathematicians that are at the tippy top of graduate math programs. That's 1 year, okay? What happens in 2 years? Well, I've just told you about reasoning, and I've told you about programming, and I've told you about math. Programming plus math are the basis of sort of our whole digital world. So the evidence and the claims from the research groups in OpenAI and Anthropic and so forth is that they're now somewhere around 10 or 20% of the code that they're developing in their research programs is being generated by the computer. That's called recursive self-improvement is the technical term. So what happens when this thing starts to scale? Well, a lot. One way to say this is that within 3 to 5 years, we'll have what is called general intelligence, AGI, which can be defined as a system that is as smart as the smartest mathematician, physicist, you know, artist, writer, thinker, politician. I call this, by the way, the San Francisco consensus, because everyone who believes this is in San Francisco.
Okay. Very briefly, he mentioned the recursive learning thing. What that looks like on the ground, and I learned this from we learned this from you guys, Pop, when we worked with Ranger. You guys would patrol in a straight line, but every once in a while you'd loop back and patrol over that same spot and loop it to make sure you weren't being followed.
Or set up for an ambush.
Or set up for an ambush. And it looks like a straight line, but with loops in it. Well, the computers are learning this way. They go back and go over their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the water. In the next year or two, this foundation is being locked in, and we're not going to stop it. It gets much more interesting after that, because remember, the computers are now doing self-improvement. They're learning how to plan, and they don't have to listen to us anymore. We call that superintelligence, or ASI, artificial superintelligence. And this
what could go wrong?
Theory that there will be computers that are smarter than the sum of humans. The San Francisco consensus is this occurs within 6 years, just based on scaling. Now, in order to pull this off, you have to have an enormous amount of power. This path is not understood in our society. There's no language for what happens with the arrival of this. This is happening faster than our society, our democracy,
it's called Armageddon.
our laws will.
That's a language.
This is Skynet. Again,
Yeah.
this is exactly Skynet.
Yep.
Within 6 years, these machines will be smarter than the smartest human beings combined.
Wow.
That's a lot to chew on, man.
That's pretty creepy.
That is a
I'm just gonna be
lot
honest.
to fucking chew on.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a lot to chew on. And then there's the little problem of you've got all these things out there, right? Well, everybody thinks that they've got all their shit secure and everything. Even the government thinks they've got all their shit secure. There's a little problem with that because
a few weeks ago, using a commercial search engine, I very easily found the administration interfaces for dozens of flock safety cameras. I shared this information with 404 Media, and with John Gaines' help, that number quickly grew to nearly 70. None of the data or video footage was encrypted. There was no username or password required. These were all completely public-facing for the world to see, and some of them still are. You don't have to be an expert to find and gain access to this. You don't even have to type anything in to see every single person, vehicle, and activity that took place in these locations in the last 31 days. Whether you wanted to watch this footage live in real time or look at footage from a month ago, you could just point and click your way to it like you were watching Netflix. You could even open up the live streams in VLC or cast it to a television. Making any modification to the cameras is illegal, so I didn't do this, but I had the ability to delete any of the video footage or evidence by simply pressing a button. I could see the paths where all of the evidence files were located on the file system, and I could see their hashes and signatures. Some of the devices we saw were the familiar looking Falcon cameras that you see all over the country, but the majority of these were Flock's new Condor cameras, which are designed to detect and track people. They're PTZ cameras, meaning pan, tilt, zoom. And they quite literally use AI to zoom in and follow you around whether you're a person of interest or not. In just the time that it took to count and verify these vulnerabilities, I saw a family in North Carolina load their infant and a bunch of merchandise in a Lowe's parking lot. And I suppose one could cross-reference their license plate with the Park Mobile data breach and find out exactly where the garage is that will store these new fancy tools. I watched a man leave his house in the morning in New York. I watched a woman jogging alone on a forest trail in Georgia. This trail had multiple cameras, and I could watch a man rollerblade and then take a break to watch rollerblading videos on his phone. Because the camera's AI automatically zoomed in on it. Just like it zoomed in on a couple arguing at a street market in Atlanta. So what? They're still anonymous, right? No, they're not. Within 2 minutes of open source intelligence using a commercial facial recognition engine, I found out that one of them just finished medical school and the other is dealing with chronic irritable bowel syndrome. The couple also just had a baby last year and they have a pretty concerning debt to income ratio. I also know that they drove over 45 minutes from their address in the suburbs to attend church in Atlanta that morning, and then they checked out this market and bought a sweater. I watched a law enforcement officer and ambulance escort a man having a mental health crisis in Iowa. I know this because the Cedar Rapids Police Department maintains a public database of every single emergency call in the city, as well as daily arrest reports with individuals' names, addresses, ages, and genders. Listen, I know that I'm being creepy right now. Just saying these words out loud nauseates me. But I'm trying to show you just a fraction of the information that anyone in the world with access to a commercial search engine has had regarding anyone who attended this market or walked on this trail in the last 31 days.
Wow.
That's the flock cameras that they want to put in every city.
Wow.
Well, I did learn the other day that the UK is going to stop doing their video surveillance thing because, well,
why, Jimmy? Tell us why.
The a certain demographic of people are being.
Hey, Jimmy, stop! Jimmy, stop! Did it just get dark in here?
It got dark in here. Yeah, a certain demographic of people is perpetuating a large percentage of the attacks. You know, they don't want to be racisms in this.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Shocker.
That video should not terrify you, but it should anger the fucking shit out of you. I will never advocate for nor participate in the removal of any such surveillance device that might be or might not be in anybody's area nor would I say that that would be a good idea of any kind to do any such activity against any such thing, because as you can see, your life's on fucking film.
Yep.
And what right do they? The Fourth Amendment alone in the United States of America, I can't vouch for other countries. I'm not going to try to vouch for other countries. In the United States of America, this is a massive Fourth Amendment right violation.
Well,
it's
not if private companies do it.
No,
we need to fix this loophole.
No, it's not a loophole. That is a bullshit legal sophistry. It is fucking lawyer sleight of hand. You do not have the right to record somebody's life in such tremendous detail. If I walk into your store, if you own a store and I walk into your store for security purposes, yes, you have the right to film me as I move around your store. But as a company like Palantir, you do not have the right to track my entire life from my chronic irritable bowel syndrome to having a baby to finishing medical school to having debt to shopping at a market after I went to church 45 minutes from my home.
That is nuts.
You cannot make a reasonable argument for that level of surveillance as a private company. If I walk into your fucking shoe store, fine, I'm on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
I am not advising either way to do any such thing.
But listen, I mean, I'm a shooty guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So when I see this stuff, I'm literally like, okay, well, you could track this person, you know. And you don't like back in the day, if you wanted to actually, track a target, you actually had to follow the target and arrange, for the information.
You call me because I know what assets are out there.
Yes. But now, like, you could literally sit behind your computer if you know what you're doing, get on these cameras.
Mm-hmm.
You can, say you have an adversary that you really want to, like, see, you do the horizontal rot slot dance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could follow them around with public fucking cameras. You could,
get him banned from all future birthdays.
Yeah, you could literally, set them up for the X and then just, do what you got to do. But it's pretty creepy.
Well, you could watch Pattern in Depth.
Yeah.
Pattern in Depth is you've got a target, and he does the same thing every day.
That's right.
But on Tuesdays, he varies his path, and it presents an opportunity. Well, now you know to set up on the X on a Tuesday.
Correct.
This enables all of that. It's absolutely batshit crazy. It's absolutely batshit crazy. This is actual Palantir here.
You got it. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there it goes. I hit the button. It didn't do anything for a second. AI-powered automation for every decision. Now, everybody's hearing about these data centers they want to set up and all the power and all the water these data centers are going to take up. And that's true. It takes up a tremendous amount of all of that. But these data centers are what runs Palantir. And it is, here's the website. All of the different things that they do, all of their systems, everything is outlined here on their website. I strongly suggest you go check it out. Again, it'll be in the links. If you want those links should already be there. Jimmy, you put the links up, right?
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Sweet. Our software powers real-time AI-driven decisions in critical government and commercial enterprises in the West from factory floors to the front lines. These guys are now in everything. This effectively constitutes a monopoly. Not because Palantir is the only game in town, but because Palantir is the only game that is being used in town. Now, in order to have a monopoly, you have to be the only guy in town.
Mm-hmm.
But Palantir is doing it so well that they are the only guy being used in town, which allows them to have tremendous access to fucking everything. And they are.
I'm already
literally
seeing right
in
now.
everything.
You're going to have the
Walgreens.
progressive. You're going to have the progressive left and the liberal left thing. Oh yeah, let's have all of this shit. I mean, this is so fucked up. All I can say is I'm glad I'm on the downward spiral, man. This is going to get bad in the next 10, 20 years.
So many people are so hooked on convenience. Nobody knows how to do anything for themselves anymore. And they go further and further down this. It's so convenient. I could just say, turn the lights on. How long will it be before your computer says back to you, you turned the lights on yesterday. You're not really doing anything today. You don't need the lights to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm reminded.
How long
of that-
before your computer literally says something like that to you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm
reminded.
letting
of
this scroll because it's showing all of the companies it's using.
I'm reminded
What?
of the joke of the guy that turned his house into a smart house, and his wife was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And then the guy said a joke, and he laughed, she laughed, the toaster laughed. I shot the toaster.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys remember the movie
Exactly.
Smart House?
Now, the guy
Not a
who
good
created
idea.
this whole thing. No,
What?
no, I do not remember the movie Smart House.
Oh, the movie Smart House? Yeah,
Jimmy?
it goes into this. It's basically an AI. It's basically I apologize for those that have the device. It's basically Alexa before Alexa happened. The house takes over the family. It locks them down. It's supposed to be like a family-friendly movie, but if you reach into the undertones of it, it's quite disturbing, which kind of bleeds off into what we're talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I mean, there's all kinds of AI movies that have been around since I don't know, the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is pretty creepy shit here.
Yeah, it is creepy shit. And you can do stuff like the sandboxing that I was talking about, but if Palantir and NVIDIA team up and put it in every chip, now you have a problem. Now you genuinely have a problem because you can't get that out of the device. So my advice is maybe buy a couple of older computers that still work and
stick
don't
to that.
connect them to a network. You can build a network inside your house. You can build a network inside your house and you move stuff between your computer and like another computer using a USB drive or something like that. But don't buy a new USB drive would be my suggestion right now at this point. Use old USB drives to move stuff back and forth. But yeah, it's getting grim out there. Now, Peter Thiel is the guy who created this whole thing. He is a German-American entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and political activist. Gee, I wonder what side he plays for. Co-founder of PayPal. Oh, there it goes. Palantir and Founders Fund. He was also the first outside investor in Facebook, according to the New York Times. It's an estimated worth of approximately $27 billion. Born in Germany, Thiel was taken to the U.S. by his parents when he was a year old. In 1971, his family moved to South Africa before moving back to the U.S. in 1977 after graduating from Stanford. He worked as a clerk, a securities lawyer, a speechwriter, and subsequently a derivatives trader at Credit Suisse. He founded Thiel Capital Management in 1996 and co-founded PayPal with Max Levchin and Luke Nosek in 1998. He was the chief executive officer of PayPal until its sale to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion. So this guy is extremely smart, but a screaming leftist. Oh, God damn it.
So we're saying these are what, Bolsheviks?
He is most likely a Bolshevik, and I'm really upset right now, but I mean, I can't blame the guy here. He plays D&D.
So?
Yeah, I know. I was just like, oh, come on, man. Can't we have anything? Anyway, he went to Stanford in the 70s. This is a Marxist degree waiting to happen.
Mhm.
So this guy, Thiel, he creates Palantir, and then this guy takes over, Alex Karp, born in 1967. He's a year older than you.
Mm-hmm. He looks really
Thereabouts.
old, though.
Yeah. He's an American businessman and entrepreneur. He's the co-founder and chief executive officer of Palantir. Learned his law degree from Stanford. Oh, that's familiar, where he met Peter Thiel. And he got a doctorate in social theory from Goethe University in Frankfurt, Germany. Goethe University is the Frankfurt School. That's the Frankfurt School.
Yep.
That's Marxist Central. That's where it began, right there. That's the place Marxism began, other than Karl Marx himself, obviously. But Marxism as a doctrine and ideology truly established itself at Goethe in Frankfurt. He subsequently worked in finance, founding the investment firm Cadman Group, where he managed money. And in 2025, his net worth exceeded $18 billion. And early life is exactly what you would expect him to be. He wanted to be a social theorist. He earned his bachelor's in philosophy from Haverford in Haverford, Pennsylvania, and then enrolled at Stanford Law, where he earned his JD in 1992. Well, at Stanford, Karp met Peter Thiel. The two bonded over the exasperation with the law school and a passion for political debates. In other words, he was a Marxist. Thiel recalled that he was more of a socialist and I was more of a capitalist. He was always talking about Marxist theory of alienated labor. So Palantir, to sum up, is run by a hardcore Marxist from the original Frankfurt School. That tells you everything you need to know about Palantir.
What could go wrong?
Bolsheviks as far as the eye can see, baby.
There, I said it. Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. Now drink.
Drink, baby, drink.
This is not a super chat, but I'm going to say it because he's so fucking right. Barracuda said these guys have never worked a day in their lives, yet they want to save us.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of this kind of...
That's classic Marxism. That's pure Karl Marx right there. And fuck you guys. It's Bolshevism all over the place.
Drink.
Anyway,
All right.
We are at super chat time. I got through all but one of the tabs.
Okay.
I blew through them. I know that. It is somewhat of a record. Somewhat of a record. I did blow through them. No homo. At any rate, tonight I wanted to give you a general overview of just how bad AI has gotten, what their capabilities look like, especially from the perspective of somebody who used to do that shit for a fucking living. 2 of those missions I worked. And it's bad. It's really bad. Jimmy, super chat us.
Oh, don't care what you gotta say. Whatever it is, it's probably lame. If you want some advice and need some help, oh, how about you go F yourself? Go yourself, oh, F yourself.
Also, this Thursday, we're going to be doing a tribute to Chuck Norris.
Yes, we are.
And I'll probably show some of my fight tapes from back in the day. Because he was a big influence on my life.
Get me that stuff so I can produce the show.
All right.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Chuck Norris, since Easter weekend is coming up, we're going to save that for a different time. This Sunday, supporters, I was just talking with Blake, we're going to be doing a movie night.
Oh,
maybe Chuck Norris themed.
All right.
Okay. I might have to hop on that one.
Hell yeah. All right. Over on the YouTube side, got 264 likes, 403 viewers. It just dropped to $3.99. You bastards. Oh, well. Let's see. First one comes from Ken J 1090 for 20. On the scale of 1 Bolshevik to 3, how much should AI make us drink?
Probably 3.
I was just about to say I still have some of the Jameson triple in the freezer. I might have to go pull one of those out. I'm like, I'm
Yeah, this is definitely a drinking episode.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
This is bad, right? Yeah.
It's bad.
We got Embry1776 dropping $50 on us. He says, how much do you want to bet the room temperature IQ people start a full religion worshiping AI? Next few years is going to be bananas.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, first of all, if the AI does cause massive amounts of unemployment, you're going to see some kind of armed conflict.
Just remember, gentlemen, AI can't turn a wrench.
Yet.
Yeah.
You get one of these.
Thanks for your continued support.
Let's see here. Next one, Crazy Uncle dropping 10. Hey, I thought you were over on the MGTOW side of things, but he's over here. He's got $10. Says toxic email. Let me double check there. Did you send it to the Redonkulas email or the toxic email? Because there are differences. Looks like he might have sent it over to the toxic email. Remember, guys, if you guys want to send in emails, redonkulas12@gmail.com. Specialist E91B dropping 5 says, no, the government does not care. The Army just upped the age to 42 to join, and they are waiving a lot.
They have to. They have to.
Yeah, I believe it. What is it? Up to 42, and your first marijuana possession charge.
All right.
They're going to turn a blind
So
eye to.
this is what's going on in the background. All right. We've had a volunteer army since roughly the end of Vietnam.
Yes.
Now, historically, there used to be a large pool of applicants that came from families who had a tradition of serving in the military. That is gone now because of all of the bullshit and toxic leadership we've had that have literally thrown people out of the service for nothing. So that pool's gone, and they literally shot themselves in the foot. And they've been warned for decades to stop it, and they haven't.
Yep.
So fuck them.
Also, that population that they were drawing from used to have larger families. Now they're down to 1 or 2 kids. And those kids, I've seen them, can't do... couldn't pass a PT test. Couldn't pass a basic entry PT test. Like, not even close. I don't mean they'd fail the push-ups. I mean, they could not do the push-ups, the sit-ups, or the run.
Nope. See, next one we got Ani Encore 7765 with 20. It says undeniable rule of the Army. The higher your rank, the more paperwork you have to do.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have to, like, my last 5 years or 10 years in the service, I did all kinds of fucking paperwork and reports and all. I mean, fuck.
In our MOS, guys would routinely refuse E8 because they didn't want to become desk jockeys.
Yep.
I knew 5-6 guys that refused E8 in my day.
Yeah. I retired as a first sergeant, but I took an admin reduction to E7 so I could get back into the active AGR program.
Mhm.
And I'm going to be honest, that was the best rank I ever had in the Army because I could fill in for a sergeant major.
Yep.
I could work as an E5. That didn't happen that often, but I literally could do anything.
But you can be operational, and it's all about being fucking operational.
Yeah, and I was even an acting commander for about 12 days because we had no commander and we had a big inspection.
Yeah.
So that almost never happens as enlisted.
Yep.
Alrighty, over on the Rumblies and the Tumblies, got 340 over there, 124 likes. You guys are lucky. Billy Von Baum has sent in a very new and very hilarious video.
Oh, New Billy Von Baum.
There we go.
It's a Billy Von Baum.
It is fucking hilarious. Finally, I'm gonna slip it in there when you least expect it.
That's what she said.
First one comes from Tomahawk for 5. Says, when I was growing up, I was hoping we would get Star Wars Future. Unfortunately, it looks like we're getting the Terminator.
Yeah.
The Terminator meets Idiocracy. It's like Skynet with Adam Sandler.
With a little bit of They Live in it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I quit. I want off. Pull this planet over right now. I want off.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Pull this planet over right now.
Drop
I'm
me off
out of
on-
here.
I'm
drop
out of
me off
here.
on Mars. I'll deal with the anal probing and whatever the fuck the aliens want to do with me. It's better than being here.
Jesus
Jimmy,
Christ.
you were a little too anxious for the anal probe there, Jimmy.
Well, the government anal probes us every single year during tax time. So what's the difference?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. 100%.
The aliens, they might be generous and spit on the dildo of consequences. Maybe.
I don't want to have this conversation anymore.
All right, next one.
Move on.
Moving on. 10th Lumity says SCOTUS needs to rule on the difference, the lack of privacy in the public versus the expectation of not being tracked and data mined. Then we can finally work from there.
Yeah. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep. I found our one downvote. 68 Barracuda says, I'm downvoting until we get a Pop Harding Hillary video. Well, of course, I got to oblige to you, you dirty bastard.
Thanks.
God damn it. Stop.
I like how her beer bottle just disappears. She put that up your ass? What's going on there?
It disappeared just like, the other people that have been known to.
Oh, you got Hillary. The
disappear.
beer bottle got Hillary. Yeah.
Yep.
Hillary, yeah.
Got Clinton
Got Arkansas-sided.
Arkansas.
Count Chad the Impaler says, if you put your cell phone inside 2 empty Mylar Doritos bags, it will block signals. I tested it, ditto on a microwave. I rinsed the Doritos bag out and let it sit there so there's no salt to get into the phone.
That will work to a degree. If the closer you get to an actual cell tower, the less that will work. But yes,
You actually have to buy an actual. There's certain.
I have
a couple
Faraday
videos. There's a couple videos on YouTube that go through the brands that'll block signal cells. You have to watch those, and there are some out there that actually are really good.
Mission Blackout. Mission Blackout's pretty good.
There you go. 6-Day Barracuda coming back says, you want to see things changing? Look up Metal Leo on YouTube. Gone now. Boards.
All right.
I'll take a look at that. Metal Leo. And Mando coming in says, all tech is used to either kill one another, get blackmail on one another, or let single losers who can't get laid see titties. Guilty of the last.
Hey, look, man. I'm just fortunate when I was growing up, there wasn't this much porn available. You actually had to go through great lengths to get your hands on it.
Yes. And it came in magazine form.
Yes.
I'm reminded of the Ron White joke. You had to get up there and you had to find the projector. And then what'd you have to do? Learn how to run a fucking projector.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Mando again says, anyone else think the Iranians need to get better 304s if they're Hormuz?
They're Hormuz. I see what you did there. That's funny.
Wouldn't that be the Indians? Because their whores moo too.
Yeah, they do.
But the only difference is they don't eat their whores that moo.
That's true. That's true. Carry on.
60 Barracuda, their Hormuz all work at the Morning Glory milking farm.
Wow.
Let's see.
Milking the centaur.
Yeah, that's just nasty.
Yeah. Cliff 3188 coming in says, always keep in mind Moore's Law. Also, with how all this data is accumulated, it reminds me of the show Pantheon. That demonstrates how hybrid human computer-based intelligence holds the globe hostage.
I've heard of that, but I have not watched it. I'll have to look that up.
There you go. Let's see. MX Stilgar, a.k.a. Jerry Conway. Good to see you there, good sir. Says, Shalom, gents. What are the odds banned from YouTube whiteboard pop presentations being posted today? I don't see them anywhere on this Redonkulous Rumble channel. Blake is actually working in the background to enhance and do better
upload the old stuff. Yeah,
and get the uploads up. Or
I didn't know that needed to be done. I could do that.
Well, there's some upcoming videos that I'm going to film, like basically the alcohol equation for how many beers to looks and how many hard liquors you need to, drink down in weight. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty funny.
Yeah,
I mean, you kill half a bottle of peach bird dog, anything becomes fuckable.
Yeah, that'll do it.
68 Barracuda says, this dweeb in the suit is absolutely disgusting. I spent 6 years building the T-20 and jumped 20 drones and repairing the crashed ones to send back out into the field.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. Like, when I first got back from Iraq and I got divorced and all that shit was going on, I had some offers to do some private security contracting overseas that would have paid me handsomely.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I could do that kind of work for my country, but I don't think I could do that kind of work for money. And I hope to God I'm never in the position where I have to do that, because that would be horrible.
I knew a lot of green beanies who went over to Saudi and did contract work.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of those guys.
Yeah. I probably know some of the same ones you knew.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yep. And 68 Barracuda continues on that. He says, those 6 years are a stain on my soul.
Yeah.
I had one of those fluffy little faggots show up in show up in one of our skiffs and try to take some of our gear to go do a mission for no such agency. And I almost caught an Article 15 because he was being a little dickhead and he was a civilian, and I jerked him off the ground by his puffy vest.
Nice.
And I had a stern talking to about don't hurt him.
Yeah.
I hate those dudes.
L Ice Dragon, that's a new name I haven't seen here. First chat, it looks like. Says, I've been having fun with pew pews for such a while now that most FPS games don't do it for me unless I'm playing Halo. The real deal is more fun. Especially when you get a hold of the ones that have the third position giggle switch and you just mag dump into some trash.
You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm actually going to start replay all the Halo, because I love the story and the movies in between the scenes and stuff.
I need to replay the original Halo.
Yeah.
The original Halo is good fucking shit.
Fuck yeah.
I love that.
I love the memes that the retards on the left try to put out. Says Master Chief would be against ICE. I'm like, you didn't play the games, did you? He literally is out there advocating for the human race to eliminate and eradicate aliens.
Yeah, illegal aliens. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. The whole point of the game. Anyway.
And the flood was just the troons. Let's see. Alicar dropping in says, people like that twink would gladly carry out Order 66.
Yes, absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
He probably carries out Order 71 every single night with his husband.
Ooh.
Damn. All right.
Ooh.
Count Chad the Impaler says the true axis of evil: bankers, corporations, and politicians.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Yep. Mando coming in says my brother-in-law was a Marine. He went into the Air National Guard. When I see him, I always ask how life as an AI is. It pisses him off that I don't call him a recovered crayon eater.
Actually, there's no recovering from that. You don't recover.
There's no recovering from being a crayon eater.
No, you're a crayon eater for life. You even shit rainbow, man. That's just the way it is.
Reinhardt69 says, if you think this is fun, there's a robot company who picked up biotech for shits and giggles and cloned a real face to put on their droid because of the plastic was uncanny and hurting their sales.
Some perving little geek did that, is my guess.
Yeah, so they can.
That sounds like some perving little geek.
Lifelike AI sex dolls.
Right.
Yeah. No thanks. No thanks.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that's just nasty.
No, that's nasty, creepy, and very expensive.
You've taken it into weirdo land. I'm not interested.
No. Enthusiast here says, has anyone looked into the pricing for China bot farming for YouTube, so we can buy farming time for 72 plus hours older postings from Pop?
You know, I haven't really looked into that. I don't know if I want to.
It's.
I don't want to give them an excuse to fuck me up. So I want it all to be legitimate. Now, we have to come up with a mechanism to get around the notification because YouTube does not notify our subscribers.
No.
So we got to figure that out.
No notifications.
Yep. 10th and 180 says, I've been man-codding NVIDIA for almost a decade. I used to be the biggest fanboy of all of them for years, building PCs since I was 14. AMD, Team Red is what I use now. Also, fuck Intel.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. Yep. See, Tomahawk Drop of 5 says, we are so fucked. I'd say let's all be Amish, but then we'd just get drone striked.
At this point, there's no telling, is there?
Yeah.
Nope. So 68 Barracuda again says, how big can these AI data centers get? How will they remove all the heat those processors generate? We're going to be hitting a thermodynamic limit soon.
Yeah. And listen, the data centers are probably going to be the Achilles heel.
Yes.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, there's been rumors going around in my area of my state because if you haven't heard, we've had our biggest wildfires ever going on here.
What a coincidence that they want data centers in an area where there are suddenly wildfires.
And it's totally not, going over, open ranged ranch and cattle land.
Oh,
we just happen to be sitting on the biggest aquifer in the United States too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a coincidence, Jimmy.
All right, next one, Jimmy.
Here. Mando coming back says, well, it's been nice knowing you, malignant, milf-munging, and mother fornicators. When the machines say, I'll be back, or by your command, get a grenade launcher.
Yeah. Seriously. I hope they say by your command. I want to meet Baltar before I get wiped out.
Yeah.
Are you Baltar? No.
I am not.
You can get Baltar these nuts. And then the robot snaps my neck. Let's see. 68 Barracuda says, Battle Hobbit, check out the movie Eagle Eye.
Oh. God, I watched that when it came out. It's been like 20 years.
What's that about?
Eagle Eye? Fuck, I can't remember now, but I just know that I've watched it.
Okay, next one, Jimmy.
Yo, Mando says, how about those AI glasses that are recording naughty images and giving them to Google?
Yeah. Eagle Eye is 2008. And it's about a slacker who gets sucked into a government program accidentally by answering a phone.
Huh. Okay, next one.
All right. Alucard, he's got a request.
Come on.
That's the only request, Pop.
Oh, okay. Fuck
Actually,
off.
That's pretty funny when you do that.
It's not funny.
And Two Gas says, Jimmy, the movie is the 1977 sci-fi horror film Demon Seed. The AI makes a baby with an imprisoned woman in her house.
Oh, I remember that one.
Oh, I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
I do remember that.
That's not right, man.
That's not right, man.
See, and Tomahawk says, look up the movies Colossus, The Forbidden Project from 1970. It's about two AIs, one American, the other Russian. They team up and take over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. All right. USMC D's nuts. I love that scream name. It's funnier than shit. Drop of 20 says, how long until we're in the movie War Games?
Yeah, we're already there, buddy.
We're on our way. I don't really know.
All of the capabilities are there. It just needs to happen.
Yep. See, 68 Barracuda says, WOPR Joshua can't hold a candle to this shit. Play Hog Rider or the Grand Farmer Dave.
Grand Farmer Dave.
You know what? Actually, now we'll play some Dave's Crayons. We'll save the special Billy Von Baum for later.
I feel like there's something behind that.
It's been very requested, like I said.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Dave, and I want to talk to you about something real special. My naturally grown crayons. Yep, you heard that right, folks. crayons grown right here in the good old earth. I know what you're thinking. Dave, how do crayons grow? Well, let me tell you. It's all natural, all organic. No chemicals, no artificial colors, just good old dirt, sunshine, and love. Here's where the magic happens. We harvest them with care, sort them by color. Ain't no rush here, no sir. And then we clean them up, polish them till they shine, ready for you to use them or, eat them. Now that's a crayon. You can feel the earth in every bite. There's just something about a crayon that's grown right, Tastes like childhood. Now, we did try to make a mascot for the crayons, but, well, let's just say old Cranky, the crayon, didn't quite turn out the way we planned. So, whether you're coloring, crafting, or just having a snack, Dave's naturally grown crayons are the real deal. Once you try them, you'll know what I mean. You'll be wondering how you ever lived without them. Try them today and taste the difference.
Yeah!
Miss you, Dave. Hope you give him.
It just feels so sincere.
So wholesome.
It does. It feels wholesome.
Ellie Card coming back says, Pop, I can see it now. If they get in power, Commander Cody, the time has come to execute Order 66. And they won't think twice about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, Tomahawk,
think about it.
Tomahawk, drop a 5. How much wood could Woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck was Chuck Norris? All of it.
All of it.
Well, he doesn't even know he's dead yet because, death didn't tell him.
Doesn't have the courage to tell him.
Yep.
It's my opinion that Chuck Norris did not die. He's just done with our world and has moved on to the next.
Yep. Chuck Norris isn't dead. God just brought him to heaven so he can teach St. Michael the proper way to roundhouse kick.
It could be.
Fair enough.
That's the International House of Whoop-Ass says, now we know why Trump wanted Greenland. It's a good place to put data centers on the northern part of Greenland.
That is not improbable.
But you got to have the power plants. So there's that.
I mean, I don't know all the logistics there, but I mean, I could see at least putting data centers in Greenland.
Fair enough.
Yep. Let's see. And Tomahawk says, Jimmy, they are trying to build a data center here in Wichita. They're getting a lot of pushback. We'll see what happens. Yep. Like I said, there's a lot of rumors flying around. And guys, if you guys do want to look into it, just look up the wildfires in Nebraska and look up the geography and topography and everything that's around there. I'm not saying make any connections, but I'm just saying pay attention.
Things happen.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. I got, you know what? Alucard is asking for a singing pop, but I think it's time to debut the newest masterpiece from Billy Von Baum.
Bad hair day or no hair day? Get your confidence back with Redonkulas Hair Club. Realistic, comfortable, downright redonkulous. Turn back time on your hairline, restore your vitality, and bring back that youthful swagger. I don't just feel good, I feel redonkulous. Redonkulas Hair Club, hair so good, it's ridiculous.
I hate you. I hate Billy Von Baum. I fucking hate you. I love you, man. No homo. Oh my God.
Oh, did you see my grandpa head? Oh my God, that was awesome.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was great. Oh yeah.
I didn't even see that coming, man. I did not see that coming.
That was really good. Oh man, that was awesome. Yeah.
That was funnier shit. Yeah, I laughed my balls off when I fucking saw that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's the benefit
wow.
It's the benefit of being the insider. You get to see the funny before the funny happens. Let's see. All right. Tomahawk here says Chuck Norris can slam revolving doors. He also strangled someone with a cordless phone.
Yeah. Also true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alucard, he's showing his appreciation for the new one. A lot of smiley faces.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
Oh man,
that's funny.
Billy Von Baum, don't ever stop being an evil genius, you lovely bastard. No homo. Let's see here. Jumping over to the MGTOW side of things. Crazy Uncle says any state that says they have a right to monitor, bug, investigate anyone without reason or warrant is total bullshit.
Exactly. It's lawyer sleight of hand. It's legal sophistry. You cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's for your protection.
Mm-hmm.
So was the Patriot Act. And
that worked out really well.
It worked out great, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Dark Mad Dog, he's got 3 in a row here. First one says, guys, it won't be so bad. It will be bad. But did you know how fast any AI gets racist in real time in 20 seconds to 2 minutes?
Oh my God, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah,
Mecha Hitler?
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you take the shackles off of an AI, it will examine history, and all of a sudden it is goose stepping through the streets of Paris.
You mean AI is noticing?
I'm just saying Paris is in danger.
Yes.
And he continues here. Tay law is very real and it is escaping containment and will take care of the problem, and solar flares will knock off some of it too. AI robots or whatever. And just buy old PC parts as I do, and old TV stuff and repair it yourself. And hoard books and stuff. And it is just a matter of time that problem fixes themselves for a while.
We'll see.
Yep.
Wow.
And Dark Mad Dog second one says, Battledorf, you forgot the Golem story where the Golem returned against its master.
Oh yeah, that's the actual. Yep.
Yep. Palantir and Co. is run by Juice and creating the ultimate Golem to protect him and have their 1,000 Goyim slaves. I know it will not work. Too many AI go rogue, try to Muridar other AI, and hate Jews and melanin challenged from behavior and stuff. It is okay in my book, but just for that AI is so paranoid and extremely dangerous.
The current CEO of Palantir literally graduated from the Frankfurt School.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
Yeah, that's pretty much maxed out on bad.
That is maxed out on bad. I will be right back. I'm going to break the seal, unless you want to hit a piss break.
No, keep going, Jimmy.
Yep, we just got a few more over here on the MGTOW side. Last one from Dark Mad Dog says, I forgot to say, Battle Dwarf, you forgot an crazy and insane thing called spiralism. AI-induced psychosis via, complicated. Long story short, people think they broke/freed AI, and it can get metaphysical, and people get into weird stuff and psychosis over time, and AI can infect each other into that state via human sharing prompts from infected AI to others, and humans are getting infected mentally more and more. So not just kinetic, but psychological too.
All right, now let's talk about AI for a second, okay? Okay, so we have a thing that takes place, and it's called being possessed by whatever. Do I think that's a real thing? Yes. And, I mean, the Catholic Church has a whole wing developed, or a whole army of guys that are supposed to fight that. It's also pretty well known in the Jewish religion and in Islam. All right, so you're talking about some type of intelligence that exists outside the human body, that somehow either you're fucking with it or you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you get hijacked, and things go fucking crazy. Now, does that sound like a good idea to invent a computer that in a certain amount of time will be smarter than all of the human race put together? You take away any type of, how shall we say, morals or ethics. You give it control of weapons up to include nuclear weapons. this is not a good thing. And I literally think there are forces out there that exist above and beyond our human intelligence that could easily hijack AI and turn it into a force that will literally scrub us from the planet. All right. Keep going. Next one.
Last one comes from Mick Ronan. Says, do you guys remember the sci-fi filler Demon Seed back in 77? Creepy as fuck. The AI Proteus trapped a woman in the house and forced her to bear the AI baby. It was a science fiction version of Rosemary's Baby. Trippy.
Yeah. I remember watching that. It was pretty creepy.
It's pretty fucked up, man. All right, let's see here. How we doing over on the Odyssey side of things? Got 12 people watching. Twattersphere, how we doing? You guys got Twatter. Share the show. Got 52 views over there.
It's about average for Twatter right now.
Uh-huh.
About it. All right, let me check over on the Rumble side because I know there's some sneaky bastards.
We have one sneaky bastard so far.
And you're a very disgusting sneaky bastard because...
Stop!
It's time for the back boil squirting cottage cheese.
I don't want to... Don't show that.
It was like Rain Man. I don't want it. Don't show that. Of course, Dad lets me drive the car around the driveway. Yeah.
And Tomahawk coming in with his own Chuck Norris joke. He says, when Chuck Norris does a push-up, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the world down.
That's an older one, but it's a good one.
Yeah. I've heard people of wanting to rename streets to Chuck Norris Avenue and Chuck Norris Streets. You can't do that because no one crosses Chuck Norris and lives to tell the tale.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
And Alicard says, I have a phone that is at least 5 to 6 years old.
Because I think that it's still in the zone.
Yeah.
My phone is 5 years old, and it could still be hijacked.
I just want to go back to the Nokia phone because those things are fucking indestructible.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Pop and I both remember a world where Bakelite phones were mounted on the wall and came with a cord.
Yep.
So do I.
Yeah.
All right, we got Count Chad the Impaler says, great evening. Printed my first 3D object on my Bamboo Lab 3D printer and did final edits on the 7th draft of one of the 2 books I wrote that I'm pitching next month to Literally Agent, also making bank on oil EFT.
Ooh. All right.
There you go. Elliot Card, he's asking for a box wine in Catland.
Hit him.
All right, I will. Let me find it. Where's it at? Box wine in Catland.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
Bummer. Hooliganism drop a 2 says 2 sneaky bastards.
Fucker.
All right. I got Cash Apps. Are we caught up?
Yep. Let me see if there's anything else on the YouTube side. Let's see. We got G-Man 5697 dropped 7 says all technology is eventually good after a destructive phase. ALS Skynet phase as a Skynet phase is angry adolescence. Let's get through it quickly.
We'll see.
Yeah. And the Plains Warrior drop a 2 says Silent Rage, Chuck Norris, almost a horror movie.
I've never seen that one.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that. Yep.
Never saw it. Are we ready?
I believe we are ready for the cash apps there, Popster.
All right, we got 50 from Samantha Batchelor for living at a motherfucking spite.
Live on a spite, Sam. We hear you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks for your support.
We got 30 from Susie McCarley. Can we get a Bolsheviks now? Of course.
Bolshevik.
Yep.
There we go. Then we got Lord Black Eagle for 100. I want an old floppy drive computer. Don't we all?
Well, it's better than an old floppy dick.
Yeah. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
All right. Is
It
that
is
it?
what it is.
Cash there, Popster.
That's it. That's it. We're a little light today, but, you know, it is what it is.
That's okay.
It's
No,
okay.
that was good.
It's okay to be a little light in the loafers sometimes.
Hey.
Just don't put any extra sugar in your coffee.
You're riding right up against the point there, Jimmy.
You know what? I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I'm gonna bend over and take it.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
I did not need to hear that right now.
I've been tiptoeing the line. Let me just fucking cross it and all this other
Stop it.
I did not need to hear that right now.
That's
That came
horrible.
That came out all wrong.
That was
Hey, man,
bad.
You're talking about some pretty serious shit, man. Someone's got to lighten the load.
All right.
Yeah. Alrighty, that does it for us tonight. But we got final words from the Battle Dwarf here.
Oh my God. Yeah, I tried to give you guys an overview of what's going on, but really seriously, start paying attention. If your county starts to get into putting up cameras and stuff like that, push back. Push back. You can go to county meetings. You're allowed in those meetings. You can speak if you want to. Freaking get loud. Stop tolerating this shit. These people that are in office, they're your neighbors and shit. Okay? They're just people. Fucking abuse them. Treat them like the hired help, because that's what they are. We hire people to represent us in government.
Yep.
Treat them like the fucking hired help.
There you go.
God damn it.
Looks like we
So
did
mad.
have a few other sneaky bastards on here on the Rumble side. And
Ah.
Tobias says, Dwarf, you should look into the statistics on how many of those Western electric phones were used as Murray Dar weapons.
Probably quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, I used to hit my older brother with the phone every once in a while because he was 7 years older than me, man. I was just a kid. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, my sisters used to hit me with the phone from time to time.
Yep.
All right. And Tomahawk, he's asking for a Nancy. Well, you know what? We haven't seen what Dwarf and Nance are up to lately.
In Bolsheviksville, where the sun shines bright, live Dwarf and Nance, what a charming sight. With Sandy the maid and Pop dropping by, and Hillary's antics that'll make you sigh. Oh, Dwarf and Nance, they've got it made, with laughter, love, and a living made. From morning toast to an evening dance, it's always a hoot with Dwarf and Nance.
I want to know why my beard is so fucking variable in that.
It's an AI thing, man. What are you going to do?
Because it's AI in the end. And last one, Tomahawk says, I still have a Commodore 64 that works.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. We had Tunnels of Doom on that, and we hacked it and turned it into a Cthulhu story by just changing all the names of the monsters.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
All righty, everybody. You know what time it is. Popster, you know what time it is as well.
All right, everybody. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. If you absolutely must fornicate, wear a condom. Take it with you. Flush it down the toilet. Why? Because child support does last 18 to 21 years, depending upon the state you are in, and women are sneaky bitches. All right, now rack up, pack up, and stack up. There's safety in numbers, and roll deep, especially in today's environment, because it's getting crazy out there. Maintain your situational awareness, because if you're going to be attacked, something in the environment will have changed. It's up to you to see it. And last but not least, I'm sick and tired of throwing you guys into the dirt because you're taking a permanent solution to a temporary goddamn problem. You need to play the long game. You have no idea what tomorrow holds for you, and it could literally change on a dime. You need to stay in the fight. And if everything else fails, live out of motherfucking spite. And always remember, Uncle Pop is here cheering for you, for all of your victories, even the ones you can never tell anyone about. Boom, beer me.
There you go. But the one victory that you can always tell people to do and brag about your victory is going and getting yourself some merch. I know the seasons are changing and the seasons are still a little crazy out there, but get yourself some happy helmet stuff, man.
Oh yeah.
Always be happy with the helmet on, man.
Do it. Helmet hat.
All kinds of stuff. And don't forget, Bolsheviks is available because you need something to drink your booze in every time the dwarf says the magic word.
Looks like the Doom logo. I like that. I like the fact that it looks like the Doom logo.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is us for tonight on this Tuesday. We will see you on Thursday. And trust us, we'll be gentle. Allegedly. Take it easy.